Today, Ukraine and Gaza are named synonymous with conflict, their struggles echoing across front pages and news channels globally. Yet they represent just a fraction of the world's current conflicts. The battle lines in Ukraine, drawn and redrawn in the dust of shattered cities, and the ceaseless turmoil in Gaza, where the air is thick with tension and despair, are but two narratives in an anthology of unrest. These stories of strife, while potent in their individual impact, are but the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the surface of our collective consciousness, wars are being waged in lands far removed from the spotlight of mainstream media. From the highlands of Myanmar to the savannas of the Sahel, violence is not an anomaly, but a grim reality. The reality is these are not isolated incidents, but part of a larger, grimmer picture of escalating global militarization. The world is more militarized now than at any other time in the last 3 decades. A chilling fact, yet it's the reality we're facing. Across different corners of the globe, nations are arming themselves at an alarming rate. From the icy plains of the Arctic, where countries scramble for control over valuable resources, to the turbulent waters of the South China Sea, where territorial disputes simmer, the drums of war beat steadily louder. These aren't just empty words. The numbers tell a stark tale. Global military spending has seen a steady increase year after year, reaching new heights in the 21st century. And it's not only the usual suspects. Smaller nations too, driven by fear or ambition, are joining this global arms race. To help us understand this trend, we have with us a renowned political analyst. The world is engaged in an unprecedented arms race, they say, the consequences of which are yet to be fully understood. Behind these numbers, there's an often overlooked human reality, a reality that is etched in the faces of the displaced, the bereaved, and the traumatized. It's a narrative of global militarization that is far removed from the strategy tables and press briefings. It's the human cost, the true casualty of escalating conflicts. Imagine for a moment the mother who has lost her child to a stray bullet, the father who can no longer provide for his family due to the destruction of his livelihood, the child who has known nothing but the sounds of bombs and gunfire. These are the untold stories of war, the narratives that don't make the headlines, but bear the heaviest burden. Now let's hear from a humanitarian worker, someone who has witnessed these realities firsthand in conflict zones. They've seen the refugee camps swelling with the displaced, the hospitals overrun with the wounded, and the communities torn apart by violence. Their words carry the weight of lived experience, a perspective that's often missing when discussing global militarization. They tell us, every day we see the faces behind the statistics. Each one is a person, not a number. Each one has a story of loss and survival. These stories are a stark reminder of the human cost of war, a cost that's too often hidden behind the cold calculus of military strategy. As our expert so powerfully expressed, every bullet fired, every bomb dropped has a human story behind it. The trend of increasing global militarization is not an inevitability, but a choice. It's a choice we make as nations, as leaders, and as individuals. And it's a choice that can be reversed. Let's consider the role of policymakers. Their decisions can lead us down the path of further conflict, or they can guide us towards de-escalation. Through diplomacy, negotiation, and the fostering of mutual understanding, they can help build the bridges that will steer us away from the brink of war. International cooperation too has a crucial part to play. In our interconnected world, no nation is an island. The actions of one can ripple across the globe, affecting us all. Therefore, it is in our collective interest to work together to address the root causes of conflict and to promote peace and stability. Our third expert, a seasoned peace negotiator, affirms this. Potential solutions and strategies do exist, they say. They require patience, understanding, and the courage to step away from the cycle of retaliation. Ultimately, the power to change the course of our future lies in our hands. In the face of rising global conflict, the choice remains ours. Will we continue on this path of escalation, or can we find a way towards peace and cooperation?